Malky, 5-0 win at the weekend, and 5-0 sounds like a good result. Some people could say a bit of a walkover, but what I was particularly impressed in was the amount of pass and movement involved in getting to that result. Obviously, it was a fantastic goal with went overhead, but even that had good build-up. So what do you take from that game? And in terms of injuries or knocks, what's the state of play ahead of the two games you've got this week?
I think, you know what, the big positive from myself was on the back of the international break there, where, just as you've alluded to there, that we've lost a couple of players, Kayla McCoy being one. She's down in London just now, and I'm led to believe that she'll get assessed with her injury and possibly need an operation. So that obviously a bit of disappointment there, and you know, some of the girls coming back with, as you always get, is some small niggles and what have you, you know, and things to tidy up. But the performance that the guys put in on Sunday, I thought was absolutely fantastic, and it's something that we do during the week when we analyse not only were games that we've played, but we analyse the training leading up to the games. That statistically we've seen a vast improvement in our regains, winning the ball back higher up the pitch, but managing to actually, you know, in previous games we've not taken chances, whereas at the weekend there, and you know, a big plus for us, and it's an individual practice for a few of the players, is to add goals to their general play, none more so than you know, Sam Kerr, who obviously managed to score 3 goals there, and you know, managing to get herself into the box and into goal scoring positions, but actually put the ball in the back of the net. So that's great for us as a team, and for Sam individually herself. Kirsty McLean's another one who's similar to Sam, who's a very technically gifted player and understands the game, who's got good knowledge of where to play and when to try and take a chance and risk a pass for the reward. She is similar in that she was one of her things that I've been speaking to her about is adding goals to her game, so it was good for her to go on and score. But yeah, I think overall I thought we controlled the game, and we definitely shone through with our style of play.
You mentioned Sam and Kirsty there, both of whom scored. Also, Kirsty Howitt got a goal. Strangely, I wasn't particularly focused on the two of them. What I took from the game was, I thought, possibly two of the most impressive players were Jenny Danielson and Jodie McCleary. Jenny, because of her physicality, I mean, she just looks like a big old-fashioned centre forward. But she seems to have added a huge amount to her game in terms of the build-up and putting other people through. Is that a bit of a conundrum for you, whether to use her as the battering ram or to have her playing slightly off the forwards?
The reason that I signed, you know, Jenny Danielson was simply because she's a technically gifted player, you know, and she's got strength and power, as you've alluded to there. But she can play in a number of positions, you know, and it's just about, you know, this year, when any player comes in, it does take them a period of time to settle in. You know, not very often do they come in and they hit the ground running. And I think it's probably been a bit of development in our relationship between myself and Jenny, and also the other players that's round about her, to get an understanding of what type of player she is. You know, I think a lot of people look at her and see her as a, you know, she's a tall, athletic girl who you would say could be a target player. But there's more to her game than just, you know, banging the ball from back to front up to her. The areas that she takes up on the pitch and her touch, and you know, I think there was some of the highlights there on our analysis session that we just done with the team there, was that the way that she can play one-touch football round the corner or setting it back and then clearing a space for somebody else to get into. So yeah, conundrum definitely. It's whether, you know, you play her in a wide area coming onto the whole pitch, or whether you play her in behind 2 strikers, or whether you actually play her up top with her back to goal, because she's different class in all those areas she can play. And I think as well, we're now at that stage where she's came over. It was a difficult period for her when she came over, given the back of the Euros and the amount of games that she'd been away from home and, you know, representing her country. To come over here, she had a few injuries. She played Champions League So it's been a real whirlwind, not just for her but for the whole team. You know, they've had to contain me a lot, you know, and have the expectation levels put on them as well. But getting back to Jenny, yeah, she's a complete football player and one that we all want to be keeping.
Now, obviously, you've got two big games this week. With midweek, you've got Glasgow City, and then at the weekend, you've got the cup semi-final at Hampden. Glasgow City, 2 draws this season. Both games I thought were very fine tactical battles. Is that what you're expecting this Wednesday?
Yeah, I think this coming Wednesday, you know, tomorrow evening, I think there'll be a bit of nerves creeping in. It always gets to that stage. It certainly was the same for us last year when we were going to try and win the league for the first time ever in history. So yeah, the nerves creep in. So I guess that you know, Glasgow City players, the same as the Rangers players, human beings, they'll experience that nervousness, and you know, off the back of getting beat by Celtic. You know, nobody wants to go on a run of getting beat. They want to quickly address that. I suppose a positive for them is that, just like us, that the games are coming thick and fast, so they've got an opportunity, you know, in a short space of time to get out and play and, you know, get out of their system. But also, you know, we're really hungry for it. We're looking forward to this game because we've just came on the back of a real good performance. And I think what was really pleasing at the weekend there was that the competition level in our squad has always been there. And if you look at the bench, you know, I included Laura Berry, Jenna Ferguson, Mia Macaulay. You know, we had to get special permission to get them out of school to play them. So, you know, for me, it's so pleasing to be part of Rangers Football Club, and that we are playing guys like Jenny Danielson, you know, all the guys, Tess O'Meara, the guys, the Nick Docherty's, the guys that have got real experience. But there's room for these young, up-and-coming, developing Scottish players who are definitely going to make an impact in women's football and drive the thing forward. And I think it was shown that when, you know, especially when Laura and Mia and Jenna Ferguson came on, that the style of play, the confidence and everything, it wasn't as if we were playing a young girl, just, you know, you know, just being there to get minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. They got a good half hour, and nothing really changed in our game plan, or indeed we're dominance in the game.
Well, as you kind of mentioned there, the last couple of seasons have been full of firsts and new experiences. You know, professionalisation of the game. You know, bringing in effectively overseas players. You've got this game on Saturday against Motherwell, semi-final in the cup. Huge arena, a big playing surface. Do you expect to use that to your advantage? Obviously, you've had some quite good results against Motherwell, but tactically, the size of the pitch, is that something where you think that will suit Rangers and the style of play you've got, Malky, so that you can really stretch Motherwell? Yeah,
definitely. I think the evidence of that would have been the comparison to when we played Benfica at Ibrox on the big grass surface. You know, that's a bowling green we played on there. Hampden will be the same. You know, lovely big pitch, big areas, and that's what we're looking. You know, we're looking to try and expose teams. You know, it was certainly a contributing factor last year. The grass pitch, playing at the training centre last year. That was important that we utilised the size of the pitch and the surface. So, but yeah, we'll be looking forward to Hampden and getting on it.